What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Off the Top Rope, Off the Mic Sports Network. Kind of took a day off yesterday. Lot going on. Busy weekend ahead. Figured hey, NXT. Not a whole lot was really sticking out to me from that show. I mean, Santino Marella did face Ethan Bahe, for the North American Championship. Ethan Page predictably won. Obviously, they're grooming Javon Evans to potentially be the next NXT champion. But what I want to talk about here is the discussion point coming out of NXT last night, and that is Blake Monroe, the former Mariah May, who is continuing her feud with Jordynne Grace. And they decided to go. WWE and NXT decided to go down the route of body shaming. And for those who were in the dark days of NXT, not NXT, the dark days of WWE, you guys remember the old Piggy James thing with Lay Cool and Mickey James from back, I think this is like 2009. So this is we're talking like 15 years ago. Honest to God, some of the worst content that they ever did for women. And they did a lot of bad stuff for women over the years. But body shaming, I'm totally against it. But what I had a huge issue with is there were so many people, and some people recognized that, hey, this was a WWE decision. And you know what? Hey, WWE has their own ways of trying to tell stories. That being said, I'm not going to dismiss it. I wouldn't have done a body shaming thing. Mariah May is very beautiful. To go for a body shaming thing with Jordynne Grace of all people, I understand that Jordynne Grace has, become a fitness model, but the angle that they took, it was just weird. It was bizarre. And, but everybody, specifically AEW cultists and fanboys, took this as a referendum on Mariah May has already, sunk, and the aura and the luster is off of her. And everybody's like, oh, she's a terrible promo. Toni Storm carried her. And it's leading to the famed promo right before Revolution, her last match, where Toni Storm basically said to Mariah May, I'm sentencing you to a life of mediocrity. Guys, Mariah May, Blake Monroe, whatever you want to call her, she's been in NXT for like 2 months. She's been in NXT literally for like 2 months. Can we let this work for a second? Like, I've always been critical of Mercedes Moné. I let that thing cook for a little bit. I wasn't happy after the first couple of months. And, I let this go down the road. And then once she started winning all of these championships, that's when I became critical. So far, Blake Monroe has started out, had a couple of matches. She's turned heel. And now she's feuding with Jordynne Grace, a top female competitor in the NXT women's division, to kind of establish her as this mean girl top heel. Now, is this character completely, and some people have gotten on some of the, the backstage and vignettes and stuff and her presentation, that it's too similar to maybe Sabrina Carpenter in some ways, with the way some of her stuff is filmed, in like the old school fashion. And then also obviously, with some of this there's some Toni Storm adjacent aspects to her character. But one thing that really bothers me is it always seems that when somebody from AEW leaves to go to the other place, immediately when something appears wrong, those people just pounce and pounce and pounce on these stars. Is it Mariah May's fault that she wanted to be in WWE? She literally wanted to be in WWE. It's been known for years that she wanted, there were social media posts dating back to, I think it was like WrestleMania 34. So we're talking like 6-7 years ago. There's stuff from years ago that she was at WrestleMania events. Okay. It has been known for a long time and she tried out for WWE. I think it was like 2018, 2019. So she got an opportunity in AEW. She got latched on to maybe one of the best women working today. Mariah May shined. She had a bad title run. That was bad booking. And then she went to the dream place that she wanted to go. She's in NXT, and she's been there for a couple months. Let's let this thing marinate for a little bit. Am I happy with the material that she got? No, of course not. I think that this is bottom of the barrel type of stuff. But if WWE has taught us anything, they're very stubborn in the ways that they create things. So this totally falls at the feet of Shawn Michaels and, the people working in NXT and the production staff and the writers there. Like, I don't like what they did here and what they gave Mariah May to do. Now, let's see where this thing goes and see if it establishes something and it benefits a lot of people. I didn't like the angle that they took, but to use this as a referendum and use this as some sort of catalyst to start some big picture conversation about, did Mariah May make the wrong decision going to WWE and becoming Blake Monroe? That's completely and utterly ridiculous to have that conversation. She literally got to WWE in June, for God's sake. She's barely been there a month or two. The booking has been an issue, but you mean to tell me as an AEW fan that you think that Mariah May, take out the world title stuff. Do you think that they did right by Mariah May? No. As a world champion, she was not presented in a very good fashion at all. So because she goes out and cuts an offensive promo that some people are not going to like, that's on her. I'm holding a lot of the WWE people accountable in this situation because, listen, for the subject at hand with Jordynne Grace, who's in phenomenal shape, but you go back to some of the stuff when she was an extra, and this is when she actually got popular, was because she was a plus-size woman who could do a lot of cool moves and compete with the guys. And then obviously she toned down a little bit and became more of a fitness model, and her physique is a little bit different. So I wouldn't have taken that angle personally in my eyes. And that being said, I'm not condoning this at all. But what bothered me seeing throughout the day on Wednesday was seeing so many people within the community and so many, mostly AEW tribalists, just condemning this and then using it as oh, Tony Storm was right. And, bringing back the clip, Mariah May's in mediocrity. Guys, she's been there barely. One promo is not going to change who she is, okay? She's also mid-20s. She's still got her whole freaking career ahead of her. Let's let this thing play out a little bit, okay? Now, the separate conversation to have here is we have got to come up, if we are feeding into these type of angles in WWE when their women's division is as talented as it is, we've got to do better. We have got to do better in that respect. I think it's ridiculous that we have got to keep fishing for stuff like this. And to me, when I saw this, I was like, man, you got to be kidding me. We're using Jordynne Grace for body shaming? Really? That's what we're doing in 2025? So for Shawn Michaels and the people over there, I have a lot of questions as to why they thought that this was a good idea. But big picture, the one thing that I will keep hammering home is, like I said, let's cool it on Mariah May. Let's cool it on Blake Monroe. Let's see what she can do. She's looked good in her first couple of matches. She's facing Kalani Jordan next week, which should be great. I think that's going to be great for both women because Kalani Jordan is one of the hot prospects in that system in NXT. She's one of the quintessential examples of this NIL bringing in former gymnasts works. So her coming in there and, doing that, and having a match with somebody as talented and as young as Mariah May, I think it's only going to benefit her. I think it's also only going to benefit Mariah adjusting her style to what WWE works and not as much of a Joshi, strong style type of approach that she did with a lot of her AEW matches and a lot of her Stardom matches. So to me, guys, we need to cool it. Everybody just needs to chill out. It's going to be okay. You AEW fans who are just trying to look for different reasons to knock on WWE, look at how your women's division is being built. Okay? I suggest shutting the fuck up and, worrying about your own place, because the more that you do this and just look for every single flaw that WWE is doing, and like I said, I don't condone what they did, it makes you look weak. Worry about your product. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.